Most teams ship RAG like this. The agent sends a query to the retriever, which searches the vector database. The retriever translates the query into an embedding and searches the vector DB for similar chunks. The vector DB scans its index documents and pulls back the top k relevant chunks. These chunks then travel back to the retriever. The retriever packages the chunks and returns them to the agent. But when the top results are irrelevant, the agent guesses that's hallucination. Watch what happens when the query is ambiguous. The agent sends a vague question about product returns. The retriever forwards it to the vector database. The vector database retrieves chunks that partially match but lack context. These low relevance fragments flow back through the retriever to the agent. The agent assembles the scattered pieces. It constructs a plausible but incorrect answer, introducing a hallucination. This is how an ambiguous query leads to hallucination. The retriever returns fuzzy matches, and the agent fills in the blanks, often wrong. As we just saw, the retrieved chunks don't always align. The AI agent asks the retriever for relevant information, but the search may return low relevance chunks. The retriever fetches chunks that are semantically close but may miss crucial context. The vector database returns fragments without the surrounding narrative. The AI agent receives these incomplete chunks and fabricates details to fill the gaps. This is where hallucination begins. Poor retrieval directly causes the model to make up facts. The fix isn't better generation, it's better data. The root cause, retrieval quality, not generation. To fix hallucination, we add a self healing layer between the agent and retrieval. The agent now routes its query through the self healer. The self healer forwards the query to the retriever, which searches the vector database and fetches documents. If confidence is low, the self healer routes the query to the refiner for improvement. The refined query returns to the self healer and is sent again to the retriever. This retry loop gives the system a second chance to find the right documents. The improved query leads to a better retrieval, and the correct documents are found. Now the agent gets a second chance if the first retrieval fails. Here's the self healing flow in action. The AI agent sends a query to the self healer. The self healer checks its confidence and finds it low, so it forwards the query to the refiner. The refiner processes the query and returns a refined version back to the self healer. With the refined query, the self healer initiates a new search through the retriever. The retriever searches the vector database and retrieves the relevant documents. The documents flow back to the self healer, which sends the final answer to the AI agent. If the first try is low confidence, the layer automatically retrieves with a refined query. The self healer evaluates each retrieved chunk for relevance. It assigns a confidence score to every snippet. Chunks below a threshold trigger a retry. The self healer refines the query and searches again. Only high confidence chunks pass through to the agent. A built in quality gate prevents bad context from reaching the agent. Let's compare the two paths side by side. On the left, the basic retrieval path. On the right, the self healing path. The basic path retrieves documents and returns them directly, but irrelevant data causes hallucinations. The self healing path routes the query through the self healer, which refines the search and returns accurate results. The basic path can deliver errors, while the self healing path always returns reliable answers. By catching and refining flawed retrievals, the self healing layer eliminates hallucination at its source. The refiner is the heart of the self healing layer. It uses a large language model to rewrite ambiguous queries into clear, specific ones. When the self healer receives a query, it checks it for ambiguity. If it's vague, it forwards it to the refiner. Inside the refiner, the LLM analyzes the query. It pulls out the key concepts and rephrases it for maximum precision. The refined query travels back to the self healer. Now clear? The self healer sends it to the retriever. The retriever takes the precise query and searches the vector database. Relevant documents are returned. This cycle ensures every query is refined before retrieval, making results far more accurate. It transforms vague questions into precise retrieval queries. Even with self healing, sometimes retrieval fails entirely. The self healer tries again but gets no results. When retrieval fails, the self healer triggers the fallback component. The fallback returns a safe default answer to the self healer, which forwards it to the AI agent. The safe response is better than a hallucinated answer. The system falls back to a safe response instead of hallucinating. So we started with simple RAG that hallucinated. We added a self healing layer that checks confidence, refines queries, and falls back gracefully. That's how you eliminate hallucinations in real time. That's the breakdown. Subscribe to this channel for stay informed on AI updates. Catch you in the next one.